Welcome to the August 14th edition of the Special Events Team at the City of Boise. Couple of reminders before we start. One, please remember it is a public meeting, so watch your P's and Q's. We do just do that so that we have a good record of things. Also means that it's really helpful when folks use the mic because that's what picks up the sound in the room. So you may, if you're not using it closely enough, Greg will probably come and help you out just a little bit. Fair warning. Also a reminder, this is an administrative function by the city. We pull together all of the organizations and agencies that help keep our community safe and healthy during these amazing special events that are the fabric and the heart of who we are as a community. So thanks for taking the time to come and present your event, get your questions answered, let these guys grill you on every detail that they need answers to. It's usually pretty painless and a good time. I will start with introductions, and as per usual, we'll go around the table. I'll call on folks online to introduce themselves at the end, but then when we're going through questions, I'll call on folks who are online at the place in which they would normally be sitting around the table, just kind of some cleanup. So my name is Maria Wague with the Office of Community Engagement here at the City of Boise. We start with
Tanya Motisi, Ada County Highway District.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Julianne Hagler, City of Boise Risk Management.
Abby Berg, Downtown Boise Association.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec.
Jesse Tapper, Boise Fire Prevention.
Taylor Gomez, Boise Police.
Matt Sly, Boise Police.
Mallory Wilson, Office of Emergency Preparedness.
Kelly Frank, City Clerk's Office.
Leslie
Pedroza, Valley Regional Transit.
and Dinko.
Dinko Milkovich, Central District Health.
All right, thank you, everyone. So first up is Miles of Remembrance. Chad and Dan, are you here?
No, do I want that? Thank you guys for having us here again. Sorry, it's our second year of doing this in the city of Boise. We've been doing it for 6 years now, this event, the 9/11 Miles of Remembrance. We've done a few of these now throughout the state over the past few years, different events of different size, but last year, the first time being able to host it in downtown Boise at Ann Morrison Park, we had a little over 2,300 people show up, and I think it was a really positive experience for everybody, and we're really hoping to do the same thing. Thank you for being able to live out my fantasy of testifying before Congress. So please make it really exciting for me because I've been building up for this all morning. I guess I can use this. Couple things we wanted to go over. Please stop me if you have any questions on your specific area. Like I said, we've traditionally hosted this different locations throughout the state, up north in Post Falls and Eagle, and then this will be our second year here in Boise. Mission 43 as a whole, we're a veterans and military spouse initiative of the J. and Catherine Albertson Family Foundation. That's who we actually work for, but Mission 43 works specifically in engagement, education, and employment services for military families. And our goal is to make the state of Idaho the destination for life after the military, because we really want to attract community and service-minded families to stay here. You can see we have pretty standard growth throughout the years, last year being the outlier. This year, we already have 2,000 people registered, a little more than 2,000 as of last night. And we're expecting close to 3,000 if our registration pace keeps going at Ann Morrison Park this year. Our event is actually on 9/11 every single year. We think it's really important for us to do it on the actual anniversary. So this year, it's an evening event, because it's on a Wednesday. So we'll be at Ann Morrison Park. The official event runs from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And last year, I think we did a pretty good job of sticking directly to the timeline. We do have some things, whether it's the chief of police from BPD speaking. Last year, we had Mayor McLean speak. This year, we know she's unavailable, which is a bummer. But we still have other things scheduled, like a flyover. So time is important to us, at least for the very beginning of the event. As far as the event narrative, we want this to be a celebration of sacrifice. So in our social area, we have, the posters and stories of 51 Americans, Idahoans that gave their lives in the global war on terror since 9/11. We have a bunch of informational signs about the events of 9/11/2001 lined through the course. We go by the firefighters memorial, and as much interaction we can have from city and county and any kind of local agencies, whether it's Ada County paramedics, BPD, BFD. We really like that because this is a day that we want the community to be able to interact with the first responders and public servants as a whole. So we plan on setting up on the morning of September 11th, starting about 7 a.m. We have ESI helping us with our fencing around that area because it's a pretty significant fenced in area, almost 2,000 feet around that big grass area near the Ann Morrison fountain. But our packet pickup and people really only start arriving around 4 o'clock that evening with the event opening officially starting at 5 o'clock. But 5:45 is when we'll actually start with our guest speakers, which leads into a flyover. We have pipes and drums, and we'll release everyone there in kind of a shotgun start. I should have said this is a 5K, but it's not just like a running event. We're certainly not a Boston qualifier. There's no chip timing. There's no clock even. So it's not about the run so much as it is like other running events. It's just an opportunity for people to walk, run, either push themselves or push their kids' strollers through this event, and time for reflection along the beautiful Boise Greenbelt. We'll conclude the event at 8 p.m. and we're committed to having everything torn down, whether it's our stage, which we're contracting out help from Amplified, to the fencing, which we're getting help from ESI, like I mentioned, but everything will be cleaned up by 10 p.m. that night. So it makes for a long day for us, but hopefully not too long for everyone else that's involved. Chad, stop me if I'm missing something too, bud.
You're doing great.
So the only change to last year, if you can kind of see our site plan, I apologize for our amateur graphics. That's what we're at. But our stage, we're planning to push to the southeast corner of the fountain. Last year, it was in the northwest corner of the fountain area. Yeah, thank you for the pointer. But everything else is pretty much the same. So you can see that dotted line around the grass area. That's our fencing. We have a first aid tent, also serves as the missing child unification site. We have flags that are lining that run site starting at our arch, which is number 2 on there. And because both initiatives of JCAF, Jay and Catherine Albertson Foundation, Mission 43, and the Challenge Athletes Foundation of Idaho, we're partner organizations. We share offices and events all the time. They will be a big part of this as well. And we're pretty proud that the whole course is accessible to all athletes of all abilities. The 5K plan, obviously you can see the start, same as before. There is one road crossing, and that's there at basically the entrance to Ann Morrison off Americana. But besides that, that is the only time that our runners will be crossing any roads. And I'm not sure if that counts as an actual road because it's not crossing Americana or anything like that. But it is the parking entry exit of Ann Morrison right there. The runners will move generally west to I always mix up this one. It's the truss bridge, the really beautiful wooden truss bridge, where they turn northeast and then start moving generally southeast on the northern side of the river. Number 4 is where the firefighter memorial is. That is where our aid station number 1 will be. It includes a lot of the things that we unfortunately last year moved it. This year, we're guaranteeing that the aid station off the AAR comments will be there. What is the program? The 3 words?
What 3 words?
What 3 words? Excuse me. What 3 words is going to be posted there as well, as along other points in the route. But there will be a significant presence of both memorial signage and aid station ability. And we're really hoping that the Boise Fire Department is pleased with what we're trying to get there and give people a moment of reflection on this route. Runners will continue on by the Anne Frank Memorial and then crossing the bridge to the southern side and back towards Ann Morrison Park on the Greenbelt. Changes from the AAR from last year. we've kind of added, or we will really be encouraging our participants to use all of the parking available in Ann Morrison Park. We do know that,
This is different.
it is different. That's okay. Well, I apologize. I didn't give you guys the most updated one, but we are encouraging our participants to come in from the Capitol Boulevard or 9th Street side as well to utilize the parking spaces in the southeastern part of Ann Morrison. That's something we failed to do last year. We're also roping off a lot more ADA parking areas that even in the spots that are not currently marked ADA, we plan to mark ADA in that parking area that's notified as the P for primary, closest to our social area. We do know that the A in the northernmost part, the parking that's right along the river up there, that is where we have our dumpsters for the event as well. There's another group that's not affiliated with us that last year occupied that parking area. I don't think it caused too many problems other than they left because there was a car parade basically the same time that we started. So it did occupy some parking spaces that we would rather have with our participants. We heard the feedback last year that it was recommended that we close off parking areas, but also we know that our permit is only for the day of 9/11. So I don't know if there's any recommendations on your guys' side on how we would do that. But we do know the group that occupies that spot, they're not a permitted group, and they, basically putting up cones would not deter them. So I don't know if that's even worth it to initiate that attempt or not. Pending your questions or thoughts?
Like when we go back around. Yeah. We'll just wait till we go back.
Okay, cool. So you can see we have beer service for 21 and over participants, an ID check. We have 10 contracted MAV security people. We have tips trained personnel that are actually doing the ID check in vicinity of the beer tent. The entire area that you're looking at there, as fenced off in 14 in the previous graphic, is the beer garden. But we've never had a problem with over service or underage service or anything like that at our events. It is a family event very much. And we do offer this as both food and drink for free. But I think the nature of the event doesn't lend itself to, a party type atmosphere. Again, our first aid tent this year, we're contracting out with 2 Ada County paramedics with an ambulance, which we believe qualifies as ALS and not just BLS, due to the fact that the ambulance will be on station this year. We also have a bunch of Wilderness First Responder certified Mission 43 staff. We're all CPR and AED certified, and we will have an AED of our own on station in addition to the one that comes inherent to the ambulance.
That's different on the slides here.
Oh, I apologize. We'll get you the updated slides there. It still says BLS with our contracted from last year, so I apologize for that. But we are contracted through Ada County paramedics for our medical coverage this year. Accessibility plan, we have a large number of ADA accessible portable toilets. We talked about the increased number of ADA parking, and we typically do have a large number of CAF or adaptive athletes participate in this event, and we expect the same thing this year. Trash and recycling, similar to last year, we're expecting one 20-yard trash dumpster, and I think we moved to a 10-yard recycling dumpster last year, if I recall, based on your recommendation. And that's something we plan to repeat as well. We do have a lot of the temporary cardboard trash cans in our possession right now that we plan on using, and that'll be about 50 of those stationed around. But we are committed when we're done at 10 p.m., with cleanup, but we plan on leaving the park just as pristine as it always is and not leaving a mess of any kind. Communications plan, the what 3 words we mentioned will be posted throughout the social area as well as along the route of the 5K. We will have, our staff will have monitored ICOM radios to talk back and forth as well from the first aid station back to the main stage area and social area. And as well as a couple of different mobile groups that will be checking on the route from various locations around and the Anne Frank Memorial and others. We have been submitting a lot of these different events permits, some later than others. I apologize, Kelly, but thanks for getting us on track. We do have insurance coverage that names both the city of Boise, Parks and Rec, and ACHD. In that, we've submitted all the other requisite permits and pending your questions.
Thank you. I just want to say before we go into questions, I am so grateful that you all plan an event that really specifically takes into account folks who use wheelchairs or other kind of adaptive technologies to participate in events. I think a lot of times folks forget that when somebody ends up in a life situation where they are using a wheelchair or something else, like the desire to participate in all kinds of activities across our community doesn't go away with that person. Like it's still important to be able to get outside, to be able to stay active, to be able to participate in things with your family. And the fact that this event really focuses on that, I think makes it a really, really special event for our community. While we have events that do a great job of thinking about how to make things as accessible as possible, this really takes that to the next level. So thank you. Thank you for that. It's a really cool thing to see. And with that, we'll start with ACHD.
Chad, Dan, thank you for your presentation. I've received your application just a couple days ago, so I'll review that. It doesn't look like you guys are actually out on the right of way. Your footprint stays on the green belt and in Ann Morrison Park. So I'll review that and see if this is just an information only for us or a chargeable permit event. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. I have a question. I tried to locate your order for dumpsters and I tried the miles of remembrance and Mission 43. I couldn't come up with anything. Have you actually put that order in?
Probably not, now that you're mentioning it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Sometimes it's on a name or an address and it just gets by me. So let me know when you do so I can check it.
We'll do that today. I apologize, but thank you for
No.
bringing that to our attention. So we had we have a different staff doing a lot of the tasks this year. So sorry, we're overlooked some things.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. But if it was there, I just wanted to be sure that I saw it. And then question about, I thought I saw 2023, it was a 20-yard for trash, 20-yard for recycle. You had a bigger crowd for the Boise event. How'd that service hold up for you? Was it more than enough, not enough?
Yeah, it was definitely more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you do want to consider do a 20-yard trash, 8-yard recycle, you're probably fine with that.
Okay.
As far as dates, we don't guarantee delivery times. So with the parking situation you mentioned in your presentation, I'm just going to throw this out there. It might be best to have those planned to deliver on the 10th and removed on the 12th.
If you're okay with that, we would love that.
I'll let Summer talk about it a little more, but that's my idea.
Okay.
Okay, so then the cardboard boxes, you got about 50 of your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I won't worry about that. 15 recycle bins, the yellow cans, I see that is requested on your application.
Yes, sir.
And last year you probably picked those up at City Hall. And those have actually moved to my office, West Boise on
Okay.
Executive Drive. And I'm happy to give you more information about that. But yeah, you'll have to pick those up from me.
Okay.
I don't think Ed Graves is on the call. Did you have any questions about the vendor signage or questions about recycling?
I don't think so. We plan on using plastic cups again. So last year, I think we had more than enough room in the recycling bin, like Chad said, but I think this year with obviously a little bit bigger crowd, as long as you think that 15 is still sufficient for the yellow bins, recycling bins, like actually throughout the social area, then we'll stick with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Gents, thanks for the presentation. Because the event is inside of Ann Morrison, there's no downtown parking that needs to be reserved, so we're good in parking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leslie?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, there's no footprint that intersects with the bus service, so we're good.
Great, thanks. And Dinka?
Hi, good morning, guys. Looks like your plans for food and beverage is the same as last year. And just like last year, Open Table, they will not have to pay for a permit and be inspected, based on the nonprofit nature of the event. I did just check our system, and I don't think we've received your notification of event and an application from them yet. So I will follow up with you. I'll just shoot you an email later today, and just do me a favor and reply to my email with those documents attached. Or if you find them in your sent box and they were not sent for whatever reason, just go ahead and resend them. Does that sound all right?
Yes, sir. We'll get that done today as well. I thought we did submit that one actually, but we did have one change. So Open Table is not going to be our catering service this year. We're going to use another nonprofit group out of Gowan Field, the Idaho Air National Guard Chiefs Association. So same service as far as hot dogs and bag chips and non-alcoholic drinks for all participants. Just a different group providing it. So we'll give you all that information.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey there. So you talked about having the insurances. That's great. We just need a copy of those. So if you could send those over to special events or to risk and safety, that would be great. And we can get that filed away.
We sent those last night.
Okay, sounds good.
It was late last night, so sorry.
Okay.
And
We'll check
we have
on
a
that.
hard copy here also if you need them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for your presentation. Nothing is needed from DBA at this time.
Thanks.
Hi, you guys. Thanks for bringing your event back. We love it. You guys did a great job last year. In that parking lot, the northwest corner that you're
Yeah.
talking about, we can definitely talk about blocking it off, but I would like to see us utilize it with maybe like your staff parking, or maybe
Yeah.
you want ADA parking over there. Just, we're okay being able to block it. We do that for some events. Because that footprint, when you're setting up anyways, it's nice to not have like in and out traffic. It's a little safer for us anyhow. But let's just talk about it afterwards and find a good use for it, and then we can block it. The person that is going to help guide your group, how do you say, from your start line on to the beginning of your route,
Mhm.
that person can kind of maintain that barricade also
Okay.
for fire. You know, if they need to get in, they need to be able to pull the block right there. So we could definitely make that happen and make sure we use the space in a great way for you. So other than that, if you need anything ahead of time, Parks, we can do a little walkthrough and see if there's anything that you want to change from last year, or, walk through the fountain area. I know that you're changing that for the stage.
Yeah.
So we can do that before.
Yeah, the only difference this year with our footprint, other than the slight change in location, same size stage. Last year we had a Jumbotron.
Yeah,
We're not doing that this year. We're just doing a flag backdrop basically behind the stage.
that's awesome.
I think it'll be less intensive, obviously, and therefore I think we can get it both put up and taken down quicker.
Well, that's awesome. I will follow up with you on the route to get in there, because there is like a basement below that.
Yeah.
So there is a weight limit, but I think without the additional pieces of the stage will be.
As long as I don't exceed it when I'm on the stage, then we're good.
Yeah, we'll be like, that was it.
I'm
That was
the
the
heaviest
tipping
thing there.
point. Just kidding. Well, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Great event, great presentation. Thank you. Can you refresh my memory? How big is the stage?
I want to say it's 10 by 12 or 10 by 10.
Okay. And then the fencing, can you describe the type of fencing you're using?
We have a mix from ESI this year. So like the crowd barricades,
Okay.
I don't know what you call them, the metal with the grate that stand all independently
Okay, they're going to be attached to each other?
for the
secured?
most part. And then
Okay.
in some areas, we're planning on using, I wish I knew what they're called, almost like the construction barriers that they typically fill with water. We're not going to fill them with water.
Okay.
But do that on some of the area as well.
I like the number of exits. I'm noticing the distribution of them, though. They seem to be on one side of the footprint. Could we, two things, could we maybe centralize two of them in the middle, or add an additional one to the northwest side, just in case we have to do any major mass evacuations? We have options both directions.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm talking about? The
I do.
distribution?
We can certainly make that happen. In fact, on the northwestern side, like facing Americana,
Mhm.
the crowd barriers there, we usually we'll typically make it appear as if it's closed in with like flags and signage.
Yeah, that's
So when
fine.
people are driving by, but there will be gaps on that side.
Yeah, just available exits.
Yes, sir.
And then the ones that are clearly exits, could you make sure to mark those exits as well?
Yes, sir. Do you just want
with-
like an
with
exit
large-
sign or emergency
yeah,
exit sign or?
A large exit sign,
Okay.
just something that identifies them as exits.
Okay.
And then I think you guys are only having like 4 pop-ups and 1 20 by 20 tent. Is that still
Yes, sir.
the plan? Okay. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan and Chad, a great presentation. Nothing from the Boise Police Department.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for coming back. I attended last year. It was a really fun event, so nice to see it again. I think we have your safety and security meeting scheduled, I believe, for next week.
Yes,
So continue to discuss some of these safety and security elements and we'll go from there. So thank you.
perfect. Thanks. We had that meeting scheduled before this one. Doing things in reverse here.
Yeah, we like to have lots of meetings, so thank you for playing along. Yeah, great to see you guys again. No worries. I mean, we still have time to get these things wrapped up. You guys had so much stuff done already, so that made it easier. Do you plan on having a drone at the event?
Our group that does our creative filming, I don't think they did one last year, but they do sometimes use a drone
Okay,
for the footage, specifically over the Greenbelt area.
okay.
But they
Yeah,
are-
just keep us posted on that so we know the flight plan and
Okay.
days and times and stuff. If you could let us know maybe by next week's meeting. And then we can make sure that we get that portion solidified.
Absolutely. It would definitely be just the event times only, and they are permitted through the FAA and all that stuff. So we'll get that information if they're planning on doing it.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, you said it was Gowan Field, who was doing the food?
The Idaho Air National Guard Chiefs Association.
Chiefs Association. Okay, perfect. And I think that they did stuff during the air show last year.
They've helped out a lot
Okay.
and they
Okay.
do a lot of food service for us. It's a nice way to help that nonprofit
Yeah.
group. The money goes to a good cause. Obviously, that's near and dear to our hearts. And they are a high output and low ego type group. So it's fun.
Yeah. Great. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send any of the requested documentation to me and I can get it posted online for the group to access. But yeah, just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Maria, sorry. If you do end up getting a drone, just note that there will be additional drone insurance needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
And most importantly, do you look like your sister underneath the beard?
I hope not. No, I don't know. She's too pretty, isn't it? I don't- No, unfortunately, she got the good parts of my parents' genes in that.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming in, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Such a cool diversity of events this week. Carl, welcome up Hyde Park Street Fair. I can't wait to hear what year it is. It's such a iconic Boise event.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carl Scheider. I'm the event coordinator for Gruntworks. We're contracted with the North End Neighborhood Association to run the Hyde Park Street Fair, which we've done for 20-something years. I have no idea. I can't keep track of time. This will be the 43rd annual Hyde Park Street Fair. It is a fundraiser for the North End Neighborhood Association. We have the NINA president, Eric Hagan, is in attendance today, as well as Joe Freiberger from Joe's Traveling Bar, who is our alcohol provider and has been for well over 20 years too. It's a nonprofit event. It's a free event. And we have not made a lot of changes to the event over the years, although this year, for the first time, we have a full fair. We have never had a full fair before. We've never used all the designated spots on our map. It was a nice map, but we never could fill it. We switched to an online process for applications this year, and it worked quite well with a lot of boo-boos in it, but we'll get those fixed, but that has nothing to do with the licensing process. The changes to the park are the addition of acute medical. We're going to add an EMT and ambulance that will be located next to the main entrance to the parking lot. And this year, the parking lot will be closed to all except authorized vehicles because frankly, we used to do a few ADA in there, and it's really hard to get them in and out without having some kind of danger to either the food court vendors or people running through the parking lot. It just was not safe. And with the addition of the EMT and the ambulance, they are located at that entrance. So it's better to have no traffic going through there. Also, ACHD has requested that we change our map on the road closures. There are some additions to that, and the major change is no local traffic, excuse me, on Heron Street once the fair's in operation. There's an awful lot of foot traffic in there, ADA parks in there, and we also have all our service vehicles come through that area, and that's enough crowd as it is. So we're going to let the neighborhood know they're going to have to start using Lamp Street to go through, which is actually a better way for them to get in and out than using Heron. And also we had a couple of signs that were missing from the far end from 9th and 10th Street, that we'll get those put in. I'm waiting to get the notes from the security meeting to make sure that I get all of that correct. We also have some corrections to make and additions to make for the food court, separation on propane tanks. And I think those are the only things that are major relocations. I will, once the maps are updated, I will get them to all the appropriate parties. Okay. This year, we downgraded the size of the event because we actually got a map. We actually figured out the square footage, and unless we have people sitting on top of each other, 30,000 wasn't correct. 20,000 is more accurate. That's what we had for many, many years, even though it was quite a bit higher than what we actually had in the park. So I think 20,000 will fit more accurately. We haven't changed very much as far as generating beer sales have remained fairly constant since 2018, and crowd size has remained about the same. The only increase in crowd size has been we get more people coming in earlier to the fair as opposed to later. Oh, the dates are 9/13 to 9/15. I'm sorry, I should have said that right off the bat. It's at the top of my sheet here. I don't think there's anything else I can add. We've contacted all of the local agencies. We have filled out all of our paperwork. All our licensing is current and up to date. Our trash and recycling, we will be picking up our boxes and our bins from Art in the Park on the Thursday before the fair, so we won't have to have people running all over with trash cans and boxes trying to get things. It works much better, and it's a very cooperative effort. We do appreciate Art in the Park's cooperation with us on that. The only other addition that we are planning and hoping for is the addition of a water station. If we can find one, we believe we have located a location in the park and a water source. There's very limited water in Camel's Back Park. So we're hopeful on that. And that's about all I've got. I am sure there are questions, and I'll be glad to answer any of them.
Thank you. We'll let the gauntlet begin.
Carl, thanks for your presentation. The only thing I'm pending from you is your updated traffic control with our request for that complete closure. So if you could just send that over.
I will as soon as I get the security meeting minutes, so I know exactly what's closed and open. I hate to guess,
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
and my memory's not that great.
Same.
Hey, Carl, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Hey, we're all wrapped up here. I just gotta do some things on my end, but I have no questions for you. Ed Graves is out right now, but did you have any questions for him? Maybe I can.
No, I think
Yes.
we're going to see how things work this year as far as with the size of our recycling, because we have moved all the way, almost completely away from cans. I mean, from plastic, and using cans only for our alcohol, which is better for everybody. But I want to make sure that we don't overflow our cans into the recycling bin. And I think we're going to have a group come in that actually will be trying to collect cans to use for one of their efforts. So that might help cut it down. But I think we're okay as far as our sizes go. It seems to be pretty consistent every year.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, just let us know if you need anything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Carl, thanks for calling and thanks for talking with me about the event. No downtown parking is needed, so we're set. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince.
Leslie?
Hi, I just had a quick question. I had a note. Jason normally handles these now, but he had a question about the offsite shuttle you had mentioned. Do you have any updates on that or what that looks like?
No, the only shuttle we have available is our vendor shuttle. We have 2 parking lots reserved for that. That gets all the trailers and most of our vehicles off the road. Nina is still trying to see if we can get some kind of cooperation or find some place to get a shuttle. We have an area we believe we can park people, but right now we do not have that.
Okay, and do you know if you've spoken with anyone at VRT about extending service like we did last year on the existing route that runs out there?
I have no idea right now.
Okay,
Parking that, the issue of parking in a shuttle for patrons has been pretty much on Nina this year and last year, and they're working
Okay.
diligently to find something. So hopefully we'll get all that shuttle system set up or try to find an alternative.
and do you know who that contact is? Is it the same from last year?
Yes.
Okay, I'll reach out to her. Thank you.
Dinko.
Thank you for the presentation, Carl. Plans look great. We've got your notification of event. We've got the list of vendors. I looked through it. They're pretty much all good to go. Historically, we haven't really had any issues with this event. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi there. You got everything in order. Looks great. So from our perspective, as far as the insurance for the city, it's good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Carl. You're all set with DBA as well.
Thank you.
You guys do such a good job every year. I have nothing.
Thanks, Summer.
Just always learning from you guys. So
We
thanks.
appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Carl, we're good to go. We addressed everything in the safety and security meeting last week, so
Great.
we're good. Thanks.
Hi, Carl. We're good to go as well. Nothing from Boise Police. Thank you.
Good morning. I think we are as well. It sounds like we maybe have some notes from that meeting to get out, but I think those have been done. So you
Great.
should see those in short order.
I trust you guys
Yep.
more than they trust me.
Same, good here. Let me know if you need anything, and good luck again this year.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Easy peasy. All right. Welcome back, Boise Pride Festival. $35th year,
Say that again. I'm sorry. Marie.
35th year.
Yeah, this is our 35th anniversary. I was actually thinking this morning on the way over that this is my fifth presentation to you guys as a committee this year. Impromptu first year, but 5 full ones. So yeah, Boise Pride Festival, as Maria mentioned, our 35th anniversary this year. Very small event that has no impact to any of you at these tables at all, period. But we'll go ahead and dive in. On the first slide there, kind of a little preview of our artwork. We did some rebranding this year, so you guys get a chance to see our new artwork that we're putting out for the community and letting everybody take a peek at that. We feel like that better represents Boise itself. Our spirit of nature, mountains, all the beautiful natural elements that Boise has to offer. So we're very proud of our artwork refresh. And then on our very first slide, this is our updates for 2024. As you all know, as we've been sitting around for safety and security meetings, the festival layout is quite different this year. We've all really done a lot of great work together. So I thank everybody that's around the table for a lot of conversations that we've had. But we look forward to continued growth for Boise Pride Festival 2024. We have our same leadership from the board of directors. We've all been together now for several years, and we hail from some of our larger corporations here in the area. So we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of skill set that we all bring to the table to continue to lead this event. We enjoy continued success with the engagement of small and large businesses to drive microeconomic impact in the downtown Boise core. We contribute back approximately somewhere between $1 to $2 million over that weekend to local businesses in the area. So we're a proud partner of our business community. We have diverse backgrounds within our leadership, as mentioned, still the same individuals from the previous several years. We still have some questions on why we're in September. We address that by letting people know that we're able to better engage with Boise State and the CWI students. That gives them a chance to participate with their student body population where we did not have that. We continue to be a 100% free event for the community. We have phenomenal talent lined up again this year, and we are still doing our fireworks show. And we're still proud to offer this to everybody that's in the community free of charge, no matter what background that they are. We still have a continued emphasis on representing the entire community by careful attention to the tone and the festival planning. So we're very mindful of our events in the community, and we like to keep everything family friendly and everybody engaged. So again, this is just some artwork that represents the city colors. We're planning on lighting the Capitol again this year. And here's our festival overview of the event itself. We're going to start set up at Wednesday this year, so a little different. The actual festival runs the 13th through the 15th as outlined before, a shorter day on Friday. I did have one change to the stop time on September 13th. I had a typo on that. The stop time is going to be 10:30, so we're not going to run all the way till 11. We'll do the fireworks, and that'll be the capping event for the festival that night. Saturday festival is 11 to 10. Those are correct hours. Rally will be at 11 o'clock on the main stage. And Sunday, that's the festival hours in the park. The parade is from 9 to 10 this year. We're expecting attendance to be about the same. It's been kind of static for the last couple of years. So we are expecting about the same crowd capacity, possibly a little bit lower. The weather's been kind of hampering folks from doing outside events. So we're gonna kind of play and see what that looks like for a 3-day outdoor festival. The theme this year is Proud of Who We Are. And again, we continue to focus on positivity, inclusiveness, and our community. And here is our key art for this year. We are very proud of this artwork. I'm actually going to put this on a couple of shirts for myself and probably some mugs, but we really like this year that it's kind of a throwback to a retro look, and it incorporates some very famous scenes from the community in a very tasteful way. So we're really excited about that. Here is a more detailed or a deep dive of the schedule of events Friday through Saturday. Again, we'll kick off and it's going to be the same as previous years where we do a soft open in the park. Then we do headliners a little bit later, fireworks, and conclusion. Again, those times are off just a little bit. So I'll update the presentation, Kelly, and then I'll send you another copy again. So I'll kind of skip over that line by line, but it's going to be about the same as last year. Here is where I wanted to spend a little bit more time on the festival layout. This is going to change just slightly. Captain Tapper, we heard you very loud and clear, and we're going to bust up those 2 big tents that you had next to the food trucks on Bannock. The merchandise is going to move to the other end at 6th and Bannock. And then the information booth is going to remain the same. We're going to give you that buffer that you wanted between the last food truck and the merchandise tent.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And then Conrad, I know you had reached out to me. I'm just waiting to literally move the graphic for trash and recycle. We're going to drop trash and recycle on the corner of 5th and Bannock there on the other side of the office building. I think Vince had a good discussion with you about those stalls, and we factored that in to our parking. So that's literally all I'm waiting for to finish up your order. So we'll stick with the same 40 and 40. And new for this year for the festival perimeter is obviously the stage is going to be on 6th Street. We had a lot of discussion about that, and we're excited to see how this goes this year. if we feel like that this is a good fit and we all come together in our after action briefing, this may be what we look at utilizing going forward, but we're definitely excited to try this out, see how this feels for the crowd, and then go ahead and make adjustments as we need to. But again, thank you to everybody for all the hard work. We had a lot of discussions into this, and I think we've come up with some pretty good solutions. So we have our same vendors that are returning last year, where our traffic control is AWP. TCP has already been submitted minus the minor changes that you needed. So Kendra's working on those. Medical plan, we're a new provider this year. That standby EMS service is provided by Injury Care. And we've already submitted our contract with them. Security briefings and security plans have been discussed at length in the safety and security meetings, but that will be MAV services again. Comms and emergency preparedness, we discussed on that. We'll have comms through MAV event patched into our actual engineers at the engineer booth, and then we'll be able to make safety announcements through the park as well. BPD and I have talked quite a bit as well. We are should be fairly confident in how we're going to handle things. So new this year, going to be some additional staffing. So liquor services, ISP benevolent permits already been obtained and serviced or submitted. Beer and wine is going to be poured and supervised by our tip certified staff. Following suit with Hyde Park, for waste services, we've switched over to cans. So there will be no plastic at our event for any of the beverages served for alcohol. That's going to be a big impact, I think, as we continue to look for ways to lessen our impact on the environment for our event and be good stewards for the park and the city. Restroom services, same vendor as last year. We did also hear loud and clear when we were doing our adjustments for the final items on the map. We're gonna do a better job and be more clear with marking our ADA restrooms. We've moved those to a couple of different spots, and we'll incorporate some signage into that area for those restrooms. And our goal, those are really long slides, guys. I'm not going to read all those. It's all about the same from last year. But one of the things that we do like to do and we highlight is that Curtis Clean Sweep is going to be our vendor to sweep and blow from fireworks on Friday night. They'll sweep and maintain all lots after the end of the festival and all road services through our footprint. And they're also going to follow behind at the end of the parade to sweep and blow after the parade is over. So we like to turn everything back over to the city as clean as possible. The parade route, this is going to be the same again as last year. There's our starting point. The time is a little bit different. This is going to be from 9 to 10, a little bit earlier, but we feel like that'll give a good break to get everybody back over to the park a little more organized, tear down and get the roads released back to the public at a better time. So hopefully that will work out. It's our same point of contact for parade. We've already got about 40 volunteers that are lined up and security services for the event. So we're excited. Should be a full house and hopefully a great day for a parade. So as always, thank you everybody that works around the table. I just give praise and kudos to you guys. I don't think a lot of people in the area realize how hard you guys work for events, the same as us, but you guys also do this in your spare time like us as well too. So thanks again, and I stand for questions.
Thank you. And thanks for thinking about the parade time. We're experiencing a lot of fatigue in the community right now with all the different road work and construction projects, and as you know, so thinking about how to get those roads back open is really is very, very considerate. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yes, it's been a long summer.
ACHD.
Wonderful presentation. Love the new logo. Love the new key art as well. Very cool. I appreciate your patience with all of the construction on State Street and all of the revisions we've asked you guys to do. Your footprint is massive, so
No, it's not.
I appreciate you being so flexible with the back and forth. So I'm just waiting for the updated TC, and when I get that, I'll return it as quickly as possible. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're very welcome. Again, I think a lot of the key successes that we've enjoyed this year, and I encourage the team to continue to do this, is talk early, talk often. I don't think you've asked for anything unreasonable, and I appreciate the flexibility on your end as well.
Hi, Joseph.
Hey.
Hey, thank you for switching to the cans. That is awesome. That's a big deal. So thank you.
Yeah, and I think in our hospitality area as well too, I know that they're switching over to compostable. That's probably not the word that I'm looking for.
No, I know what you're saying.
Compostable silverware and serviceware too. So we always continue to look for fun things to help out.
That's great. That's great. I appreciate the sustainability efforts there. Now, if you ever have any questions about areas you could improve, or if something's better or worse, Ed and I, that's what we're here for. So.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't mention that in the presentation, but on waste management, we actually like to give back to one of our local schools in the area. So we actually hire on it's the Capitol High band department. We hired them on and helped them pay for students that may not have access to band equipment or attend some of their camps. So we give money back into their program that way, and they do a great job for us. So we make sure to get them a presentation at the beginning of the festival before they get started on their work for the weekend. But that's one of the things that we like to help out in the community as well.
That's great. That's great. Thanks for sharing. About the event, I have your Ada County Highway District permit, so we're good there. And I know I'm working with Vince on parking. I kind of like that location better. It's outside the main part of the footprint. So.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, we're doing 240-yard trash and 240-yard recycling.
No, I pulled back because I don't think after Vince and I talked, that's going to be a lot in that area. So I need to update that in the presentation or the application when I submit that over. It's 1-1. So Vince and I felt that would be a better fit, but I do need a dump service.
Okay, so with the Saturday dump.
Yes.
And trash can be dumped on Saturday, not recycle.
Both can. I mean, if you can do them both, that'd be great.
Well, the recycle center's just not open.
Well, then no.
We
Then,
just bring
we
it
won't
back
do
full.
that.
So maybe think about a third one. I'll work with you, but maybe I would just hate for the event to have too much trash or recycling.
I'd like to, but I just don't know how to get too into that space. We can visit offline on that.
Yeah, we will. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So just piggybacking off of what Conrad said, maybe we can add another space to the location that we're going to use and maybe do 2 recycling, 1 trash. Excuse me, something along those lines, but we can talk about that here in a bit. Everything that you need for parking has already been reserved. We're ready to go on the dates that you need us to be there. So we will start putting up signs the evening before and have everything ready to go for you guys.
Thank you. I know that's going to be a little different this year for staggering, but thank you. Appreciate the help.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe.
Leslie?
Nothing from us. Parade's on Sunday, so it won't affect us at all. Thank you.
And Dinko?
Hi, Joseph. Thank you for the presentation. We do have your notification of event. We've got the list of food vendors. I reviewed it. Looks like they're all good to go. So the plans look great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi there, your COI for the city meets our requirements. Looks good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Joseph. Thanks for the great presentation. I know we've been chatting offline a bit about
Yes, hi.
neighborhood
Nice to meet you
notifications.
face to face.
Your event notification letter is so fantastic. I feel like you guys could write a master class so thanks for putting that together. The only thing I didn't mention to you earlier this week is that those notifications will have to be distributed along the parade route as well as.
Yes, I wanted to make sure to incorporate in that. We'll probably swing through and not this weekend, I'm working at another nonprofit event for this Saturday, but I think next week it will definitely work on getting those notification letters delivered out.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Welcome back. As always, you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for your payment yesterday. I'm signing off, Kelly. I'm signed off. Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah, one question, Summer, because the stage is moved, are we able to have somebody from the arborist just to run through and look at those trees?
Yeah,
around that
forestry
side of the
can run
park?
through and see if there's trees that need to be trimmed, but we try not to over trim.
No, I understand.
But yeah,
Last year,
we've
we
got-
actually had like several large branches fall
Yep.
like into the park, so.
Yep.
And then
They'll
I'll just email to see about when for mowing,
Yeah,
because we're gonna stripe on Thursday.
yes, we'll run those normal pieces and then we'll check for forestry since you guys will face
Okay,
that.
thank you.
other direction. Yeah.
No, thank you, Joseph. I think we've worked through most of the issues in our meetings. And thank you for being flexible and making those adjustments. I just want to make sure, you might have already said this on Jefferson, you guys are still going to make those adjustments so the fire hydrant is not blocked in front of the Capitol?
Yes, the map is gonna be updated
Okay.
and we did remember to catch that. Yes, you're right.
Okay, great. And then just make sure when you get the fireworks permit submitted, make sure the state fire marshal receives all that same documentation. I think we're good. to go.
Yes, he should have submitted this week, probably. That's.
I
what
haven't seen it as of this morning, so.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll
I'm gonna
double
roll
check.
my eyes again.
Okay,
Not at you, but him.
thank you.
Hi, Joseph. I appreciate the conversations that we've had. I think we're pretty close to wrapping things up on our end. I'll probably be reaching out to you today just to button up the staffing piece of it. And I think that's all we should need.
Very
Thank you.
good. Nice to meet you face to face. And
Yep.
yes, I appreciate the time that you've given me as well when we've talked.
Hi. I know you put in a ton of work and work with Rachel a lot, so I think we're good to go from our end.
Okay.
I'm good too. I will CC you on the notification to Park Lane and Key Bank and let you know if there's any issues or anything on that, but let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, I think we should be good, but it's the same standard plan that we've been using for them, but
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be okay. I think they usually show up just for a couple minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, team.
Thank you. All right, started with a race and ending with a race. Coming up, Alyssa, Fit One.
Hello, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time today, and we'll kind of run through this year's event. Let's see here, make sure I know what I'm doing here. Here we go. So we are on to our 12th year as Fit One. As many of you know, or maybe some of you don't know, we were the Women's Fitness Celebration for 20 years prior to that, but we're going into our 12th year as St. Luke's Fit One. And since the beginning of Fit One, we've collected and donated almost $1 million. So this year we should surpass that, which is very exciting. So we've got some fun things planned with that money as well. Fit One is not just a one-day race. It's much bigger. It's a platform to inspire healthy living for families to get out in the community, get moving, get active, and something they can do together. Every dollar we raise goes towards helping children and families live their healthiest lives. And some of the few things that we've done recently is Lowell Elementary, we built a school track for them. It's not just for the students, it's for the families, it's for the people that live in that neighborhood. And then another one we've been doing too, it hasn't been completed yet, but it's the McCall's Pathway Project. Up there in McCall, they needed a pathway to get from some neighborhoods to the school and other pathways along those lines that people use for to and from into town, things like that. So we've been helping with that. So that was kind of a fun little project. So for this year, we've had some bumps, we've had some things we've had to change through, but we're making our way here. So we have a 5K, 10K half marathon. We're still going to showcase the beauty of Boise. We start in downtown Boise at Cecil Andrews Park. We take our half marathoners down Warm Springs through the botanical gardens, most, good sections of the Greenbelt. We showcase a lot of the cool things, and then we take them up Capitol Boulevard to the train depot. So they get a spectacular view to Crescent Rim and then end in Ann Morrison Park. One of the very, very cool things that we're very proud of is children 12 and under are free with a paid adult. So this is a very family-friendly, cost-effective event. One other thing that we did the last few years, is we host packet pickup at Ann Morrison Park. And this little, I'm sorry for the map being very tiny, but that kind of gives you a view of what that packet pickup looks like. We're near the fountain. We do packet pickup there. We have a few little things happening there as well. We have the radio stations there. We're doing some merchandise this year. And then we also have, new for us this year, is some cheer signs that kids can take, either decorate there or take home and decorate, that they can cheer on their friends, family, and others of the race. So it should be really fun. So this year, we are expecting over 12,000 participants. We are back to where we were before COVID. So we are kind of excited about that. So when we had registration kickoff, which you probably all saw on the news or through some sort of form of media, we did a $20 any distance, one day only, and we had over 10,375 participants sign up that day. Mind blowing, I know. It's a lot of people. I was blown away. It's the most we've ever had in that one 24-hour period. So we're very excited for this year. Currently, we're at 11,604. And then we've got the breakdown. We're at our highest we've ever had for the half at 2803, but that's probably going to drop, I will admit. People haven't been training. We get these emails here very soon, the beginning of September. I haven't trained. It's been smoky. Can you drop me down? So that'll fluctuate a little bit. Our 10K is at 2,778. And our 5K is at 6,023. The really cool thing is over 1,800 of those are kids 12 and under, which is really, really cool. So we see a lot of them running with their families, strollers, the whole thing. It's really fun to watch. Another very cool stat that I was pretty excited about was the new participants. 4,549. So as many of you know, we've had an influx into the community, but over 39% of our participants are brand spanking new. So it's pretty fun. Our event takes a ton of volunteers because we have a huge footprint. So 750 plus is really what it comes down to. And another cool stat we wanted to pull and share is we have registrations currently from 36 other states. So not a lot from, not a ton from certain states, but like a handful here and there, but 36 states is pretty cool. Okay, so the start line, like I mentioned earlier, happens at Cecil Andrus Park, and this year the event is on Saturday, September 21st. So here is our map. The footprint has not changed over the last few years. It's very, very similar, just little tweaks here and there. We do have a Jumbotron that we've brought back again as well. That'll be kind of in the backdrop behind the stage at the announcer's platform. What other key points should I point out? We have ADA restrooms throughout that footprint, as well as other portalettes. We do have KTVB will be hopefully live streaming again this year. We will see. We will know a little bit more as we get closer. It usually just depends on what is happening on the television that day. But otherwise, this is kind of our footprint. Okay, so the half marathon. What I thought I had initially planned and sent to ACHD is changed a bit. So we've kind of talked about this with many of the group. We had to reroute due to a Loggers Bridge closure on the Greenbelt. Summer? No, I'm just kidding. She has no control over that. So we had to go back and forth. We had many, many routes we went through. Didn't want to have people cross over Park Center. So we kind of had to work and figure out the best route. So I will click over to that here in just a second. But we're still going to utilize Capitol Boulevard, down Warm Springs, and they're going to merge onto the Greenbelt at Starview. So that has not changed. Really what's being taken out is how we used to go farther down to Marianne Williams Park and then come all the way back in. So I'll show that here in a minute. Specialty is our traffic control company for this year. So it's been really helpful to have the same one over and over again. We're estimating that first finisher at Ann Morrison Park around 8:45 and roads will be open at 11. We are working on a plan and we have something possibly for that as well. So here's kind of to show you a little bit of the reroute. I know it's really hard to see on this giant format in this, but we can always talk about this a little bit more. So that first map doesn't work that way, sorry. The first map on the left-hand side there shows where the new initial coming off of Warm Springs shows the Greenbelt and along Park Center Bridge there. And then they'll stay on the same route that we've always been on, going along Park Center on the Greenbelt, Bagley Park, going through River Run, crossing over the back onto the green belt. But this year, instead of saying on the south side of the river, we're going to cross back over to the north side at the Orange Bridge, the famous Orange Bridge, and kind of go past the golf course and actually go on to Martin and then do a U-turn, which will follow our 10K route, which this actually helps us utilize some of the resources we already have. And then they will just follow the green belt into or onto Capitol Boulevard on the north side this year. So that was the best way we could come out with, and that was still the correct distance, because runners will give us a hard time if it's not right. So we had to make sure of that. The 10K and the 5K, so that starts are the same this year. The 10K will start at 7:30. It follows that same route down Warm Springs onto Martin, and then what we had just discussed on the north side of the green belt, then hitting Capitol Boulevard and going up. We expect that first finisher to be around 8:10. So there's the link for that map if you guys need to dig further. And then the 5K will be at 9:30, and we have about 5 waves. It's not necessarily, it's like 2 and 2 and then 1 competitive. So just they all kind of merge together. We have a 9:30 start. We are working to see if we need to work around the VRT like we did last year. I know that's in process. Rachel was working on that. But then there's the 5K course. So it's just straight up Capitol towards the depot, across Crescent Rim, and then into Ann Morrison Park. And then we get to the finish line and finish festival there at Ann Morrison Park. So that'll be open from 7 a.m. to noon. This is very small, I apologize, but it's really the same footprint as last year. We have a 40 by 80 tent that has kind of our food that we get donated from Albertsons and Cliff Bar and Franz Bakery. We have bagels, apples, things like that that are in that tent that are free for everyone. And then we have a stage with a live band. We have a Jumbotron there as well. And some of our sponsors have vendor booths there. And we do have a few food trucks that we're still working on completing who that will be. But we have the portalettes, ADA approved or ADA available, accessible, excuse me. And a couple like a reefer trailer, things like that. But the footprint is very much the same as it has been over the last few years. Okay, so medical partners being part of St. Luke's, I do luck out a little bit, and I have Air St. Luke's and Magic Valley Paramedics doing all of our medical, as well as our sports med folks that will be on course. The sports med tents, there's 5 tents. They are staffing those, and a lot of those are just the minor injuries where we call in and radio in. Air St. Luke's or Magic Valley Paramedics to handle the major ones. They're on mobile units. We have 2 ambulances staged throughout the course that actually then merge to the finish. With the security plan, we're working closely with Office of Emergency Preparedness to come up with a great plan. We've been working diligently and had quite a few meetings on that. MAV Security does our overnight staffing from Tuesday to Saturday. We also then utilize them Saturday morning and move them through a couple parts of that park as well. We do shuttles, shuttle service from Boise Town Square to kind of help with the outer layer of town to bring those folks into where we are. And about half of our participants utilize that. So it helps with the parking situation, as many of you know. Trash and recycling. We have quite a few trash and recycling dumpsters available throughout the park throughout that entire week, even during packet pickup. And we have a green team that's staffed, that are in carts, things like that, that go around and make sure that our trash is being taken care of on race morning. Finish festival, we have a stage with a band that I had discussed, and the Albertsons breakfast tent. Neighborhood notifications, we're always trying to improve this process. We do a very extensive mailer that gets sent out to a very large footprint, and we've kind of even updated this year using a QR code, sending people directly to it, but the map is still there just so people are thoroughly aware of where we are going to be with times, things like that. We do direct emails to neighborhoods. I go through the neighborhood homeowners associations and send out mass emails to them. They know where to find me then, which is good and bad. Social media posts, we use our PR team at St. Luke's to send out PR notices to KTVB and Idaho Press, who are also our sponsors. So they do a really good job of helping with that. We do door hangers down Warm Springs and River Run neighborhoods. So we make sure that they know. We've kind of made them a little clever this year. So hopefully they enjoy those. And then we also do, new this year, direct contact with the businesses in the DBA. We have a new poster distributor that we're using that actually came from the DBA's recommendation. And she's actually going to hand out not just the poster that advertises our event, but she's going to have a flyer that we put together directly for businesses, residents, things like that within our footprint to help make sure that they're notified. They have their own QR code to scan everything, how to get a hold of us with questions, things like that. But we're just really want to make sure we're being good neighbors because St. Luke sometimes causes a little ruckus, I will admit, down in our little end of town. So we just want to make sure that no one's doesn't know that we're coming. I mean, hopefully they know pretty well. I mean, we'll be everywhere here pretty soon. So we just want to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure people can get around or stay in their homes or just come participate, one of the two. So I think that's all I have for now. So happy to take all of your questions.
all good things come with a little bit of ruckus.
Always,
Right?
always,
No,
yeah.
really fantastic presentation.
Thank
Thank you so much. It's, and the work on the pathways is incredible. Like, as you know, the city cares a lot about pathways as well, and such a great way to like encourage movement with folks.
yeah,
So it's
thank
really
you.
cool. Thank you. And congratulations on almost $1 million.
I know, it'll be very
a
exciting.
huge number.
Yeah.
Great presentation, Alyssa. We are very well aware that, improvement causes ruckus here at ACHD. With that being said, I do need your traffic control plan, and a timeline and itinerary of what that looks like from specialty. All their devices need to be off the road by Monday morning. That's been a huge challenge, not just for specialty, but all of traffic control companies. So if they can work out a staging area where they can put all their devices and then come pick them up at their leisure. Your footprint's not very big at all, so it
No,
shouldn't
not
be
at all,
too
not
hard,
at
but
all.
no, I'm just kidding. Massive footprint. We want to make sure those devices get picked up. So
Sounds good.
thank
Yep.
you so much.
Chuck, my technical director, is working on getting those reworked plans for you. So we'll get all
I
that.
did have a chance to drive the route
Okay.
last week. We do have a project that's supposed to end on September 20th.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
With that being said, if it is extended in any way, they're going to pave the area so that it's safe for
Thank you.
people to run
Well, we
across.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Alyssa. Thank you
Hello.
for being here. Just point of clarification, that one recycle 20 yard in the park, we're just dumping it and bringing it back, putting it in a new location. There's not two.
No, did we have two? I'll have to look back, but yes, one is usually dumped because of packet pickup. We have a lot of boxes from the t-shirts that get then filled. I believe it's Friday they dump it and then move it for us. Yes. So yeah, we should be good.
Okay. I want to be sure because your service request looked a little bit different.
Okay.
But that's how I remember it too.
Okay. So I'll check that for you.
The dumpsters at Cecil Park, we'll need a permit from Ada County.
I do have that. I just haven't sent it to you.
Oh.
So I do
Yeah,
have it.
that's-
I'll get it to you. Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Ready to go. And then parking meters will need reserved. I don't know. Maybe you've done that already, but
Oh,
us
yeah.
need the thumbs up from that guy. But the 125 trash boxes, are you planning to send someone to come get those?
Oh, yes. Yes. With a very big truck. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And then our recycling bins then with you is what I've heard, the yellow.
Yep, so that's new this year.
Okay.
You'll come see me for both.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
So we have all the parking set and we're ready to go in parking. So we'll get all the signs out the evening that we need to, and we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leslie?
Hello. Yeah, I heard you say Rachel's working with VRT. I haven't talked with anyone, so if you can make sure she reaches out. I know with the closure of Main Street that you guys cause with that downtown core, we typically have to move buses onto 9th Street, so we ask that that gets included in that traffic control plan from last year, because that'll also affect parking meters that'll have to be blocked. So we want to make sure that all gets included like last year. So if you can direct Rachel to me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, we'll do. Last year we did a little bit different plan. We actually delayed one of our 5K starts, which I think she was going to check on that. So I believe she was out for a few days. So that's probably why she hasn't reached out yet. But we'll get that figured out.
Okay.
Dinko?
Thank you for the presentation, Alyssa. I'm not sure if we've received your notification of event and listed the food vendors yet.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and I'll shoot you an email today. And just do me a favor, reply with to the email with the notification of event and list of the food vendors. My guess is it'll be food trucks that have already been inspected this year, so you should be good to go. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi there. I think we are good to go for your insurance.
Thanks.
Hi, Alyssa. That neighborhood notification plan sounds amazing. And no notes. I'll just take that paperwork that I talked to you about when we were a little closer to the event.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for the call yesterday. I'll meet with my team today and then just get you final answers for that, and we're cruising along.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Summer.
Thank you, Alyssa. We've already discussed the details of your footprint in our previous meeting, so, and I see that your fire permit is on file, so we're good to go. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Hi, Alyssa.
Hi.
Thank you for the presentation. Nothing from the Boise Police Department. Thank you.
Hi. As noted, Rachel is out this week, but I will check in with her and make sure that coordination can happen with VRT.
And we did discuss, Leslie, just so you know, too, that we gave Rachel Jason's information. So we'll definitely circulate those emails and ensure that that gets coordinated better. I don't need anything more from you, so you know where to find me if I can help at all.
Sure do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. It looks like we have a couple events that are still needing sign-offs. Is that correct, Kelly?
Yeah, just a few coming up before we meet again. Nothing this weekend, but starting Monday is the Albertsons Boise Open, and they'll have their concerts happening through the weekend. And then a week from Saturday is Latino Fest. And then just stretching out a little bit more from that is the Spirit of Boise Balloon Festival. Also, I will be absent at the next meeting, so you will get more than usual obnoxious amount of emails from me to ensure that there's nothing pending before I go. No events that need sign off. The agenda and everything will be complete. So sorry, not sorry, but
The training wheels are coming off, y'all.
yeah.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay. See you in a couple weeks.